Hi friends, I'm Melinda Jackson of Melinda Jackson Public Relations, and this is Unhinged Founder. Today we have an awesome guest, LauraAura. Saying that with my accent seems so silly, but LauraAura is here and she is unhinged and I fucking love her. This was the first time we met. I was pitching a client to her podcast, the Gutsy Podcast, and then I was like, you should just come on my podcast, girl. So bada bing, bada boom, here we are. If you're watching this on YouTube or Spotify or wherever you watch these podcasts, you'll see behind me a little chair set up, a little table. That is where we're going to start doing podcasts for in-person guests. So we're still working out all the logistics for it, but hopefully soon we'll have that all sorted and it won't just be virtual. It'll be also in person, and we're so excited about that. So we're getting all the tech ordered and everything that we need, but I'm pretty excited to be able to host some guests here at the MJPR offices. So I'm going to shut up now. Let's get into it. All right, we've got LauraAura here. Go ahead and introduce yourself, girlfriend.
Hey, Melinda. Yes, I am LauraAura. I'm a keynote speaker. I'm a coach, and I host a show called the Gutsy Podcast. And listen, I am here to help women make the bold moves they can't stop thinking about. So many amazing people just settle for shit that they don't want because it's familiar, right? They hesitate, they overthink it, they overcomplicate it. It's like, there's something that I want, but I can't do that. There's something that I want to shift. Oh, but what are they going to say? And it's that space where you keep bumping up against things when you're like, okay, I don't want to be here anymore. I want to do something about it. That's usually when I get a phone call.
I love it. Okay. So I feel like you're probably very similar to me. Those leaps aren't hard for me because I am just like, fuck it. Just like literally fuck it. Like all the big decisions in my life have been like, fuck it, I'll figure it out. But I know that does not come easy to a lot of people, especially females, because we want to people please and we want to be safe, and we've kind of been conditioned to just like stay in the back, but like that's not me, it's not you. So like, how did you get into all of this? Did you have like a big like life thing happen where you were just like, fuck it, and made the leap, or what does that look like?
I've had quite a few fuck it moments. I've been in business for 18 years, so I'm not new to business. This has been my life for quite some time now. But I did not start off in this role. So my background is in graphic design. I ran a branding agency for 16 years. I spent, the better part of over 2 decades building a reputation and a career and skill sets in building brands for small businesses. And I loved that business until I didn't. I did everything that I wanted to and then some. We had lots of shifts. We had lots of wins. We had a tremendous amount of failures, like all of it, right? COVID happened. Obviously, big pivots there happened. I restructured the way that I ran my company, got very real with myself and realized like, okay, maybe there's something else calling me here. Like maybe this is starting to happen because it's time to make a change that I'm not willing to make or face on my own. And I think that's where a lot of shifts, a lot of pivots happen in people's lives, is like you get a thought or an idea and it just starts to marinate, right? You start to think about it. You start to daydream about it and question it and play with it a little bit. And that's where I got. And I was like, what do I actually want? I was sitting in my basement by myself late at night in the midst of COVID in lockdown. I had let go my entire team because we had to. And I'm looking at a foreclosure letter from my mortgage company. I'm looking at 6 months of unpaid paychecks of my own, just laying there. I'm looking at this mess that I honestly created. I allowed. And I realized in that moment that I unintentionally built my business on the backbone of my insecurities. People pleasing to the max, saying yes to everything to make everyone around me happy, doing everything that everyone else wanted and needed. I forgot to ask myself along the way what the hell I wanted. And I allowed this mess to happen, which meant I had to realize and decide what I was going to do about it. So I was like, okay, what do I actually want? I want to speak. I had already been speaking at that point. I'd already been running the Gutsy podcast. So this was not new, right? This was not like this was something that was already kind of in my ecosystem. Okay. And I wanted to do more of it. And I was always like, oh, nobody wants to hire me to speak. And meanwhile, I'm giving it like 3% of my time. Okay. Like I expect the world is going to
And
shift
you're
with
just
3% of my time.
yeah. And like, why aren't they banging down my door to have me speak
Why,
at the chamber?
why do I not have a line? Why do I not have a waiting list? Why am I not being asked? And I most certainly was not being paid to speak at that point either.
Yeah.
So, I just started to make some shifts over the next couple of years. And fast forward 3 years later, 2023, our largest client decided that they were not going to renew their contract. It was just a natural separation point. And I didn't want to replace them. I did not want to replace them. And I'm like, okay, I got to really start paying attention to this. And I noticed that I'm not marketing my business anymore. I don't have new ideas for this business. I'm not feeling, when I wake up in the morning, I'm feeling dread. I'm feeling heavy. I'm feeling like this is work now. And I'm like, oh, I know where we're going. Something is happening in the background that I really need to pay attention to. And when that client left, I had just this epic meltdown where I was like, I don't want to do this anymore. And it's scary, right? Especially if you've spent a tremendous amount of time. I don't care if you've spent 2 months building something or 2 decades building something. If you've put time, money, and effort into something, making a pivot after you've claimed that you're going to do something is hard, right? Because there's so many different external factors that you're worried about and what you've put into it. And I should do this and all that stuff. And I was like, I literally physically cannot. And so to your point, it's like, I'll question things, I'll play with things, I'll sit with things for a while. But once I decide, we're in, like we're making the gutsy move, right? And so in July of 23, I decided to sell the agency. By that December, it was sold. And by that next couple of months, I was full-time speaking and coaching. So, and that's just one of many, many, many gutsy stories, pivot points where I've just noticed my body. I've noticed how things make me feel. And I've chosen to explore it instead of shutting it down. Not to say I'm not perfect, okay? Like I have moments where I'm like, oh, I can't do that. And I'll put it on the back burner for a little while. But when something's really meant for you, it's going to keep showing up. And I can see, and I've lived and I've watched even with my clients, what can happen in your life when you choose to go for it instead of talking yourself out of it. So this is the result of going for it.
I mean, I feel like so much of what you're saying is where I'm at right now. And I don't even mind saying that. So I've been in PR for 16 years. And I've had my agency for 7. And I don't want to have a big agency. And so, and I have friends that have agencies and they have a shit ton of employees and they have multiple offices in different areas. And I'm like, that's scary to me. And everything that you were saying about like going through COVID, having to lay people off and everything, it terrifies me to be in charge of someone's livelihood. And I think there's 2 things there. I'm probably holding myself back a little bit by not wanting to bring on full-time people because I can only do so much. But at the same time, like it's really just me comparing myself to other people and thinking, oh, no one's going to take me seriously because I'm not that, and it can look, it looks different for everybody.
And that's the thing is like, if we just step back like we are right now for a second and you look at it, from a fresh perspective, it's like, I don't even want that.
Yeah.
I mean, we just have to ask ourselves, like, what do we actually want? And you're like, I don't want that. But yet you're feeling all this pressure to achieve that or to mirror that or to have, to be seen a certain way through that. And it's like, what is my version of success? Like, what do I want for my life? How do I want to run my day? What kind of roles and responsibilities do I want? Oh, by the way, I don't know if anybody's ever told you this because nobody ever fucking told me. There are so many different ways to build your business. Like okay, I'm going to get on a soapbox here for a second.
Yeah, I love it. I love it. That's what we're here for.
This gets me real wound up. I've often looked at, now on the other side when I have perspective here, building a business in the same way that they put pressure on women to build families and careers. Like go to high school, graduate, get a job, get married, have children, buy the house, get the white picket fence. Now you've made it, right? And it's like, that is one way. It's not wrong if it's right for you. But just because you build it a different way doesn't mean that it's wrong. Maybe you don't want to go to college. Okay, there's a ton of different careers that you can go into without a college degree. Maybe you don't want a white fucking picket fence and you want an apartment in a high rise. Cool, let's do that too. And I think that business is the same way, where it's like, oh, you started a business. Oh, when are you expanding? When are you hiring your first employee? When are you going to get an office? When are you going to do this big campaign? When are you going to start running ads? You know what I mean? Like, it's all this pressure and expectations to like go and do and build and be more and expand. And it's like, if that's what you want, fucking do it. But if it's not what you want, get really clear about what it is that you want, because otherwise you're going to be sitting in the mess that you don't want.
Exactly. And I think there's so much pressure on us as female founders, and it's my soapbox, that everybody's like, you have to make 7 figures. You have to scale and sell. You have to do this, that, and the other. I don't fucking need 7 figures. I just don't. Like, great. If I did, wonderful. I don't fucking need it. Like, I rent my townhouse and it's great because somebody can come and fix shit when it's broken. I don't need to buy a house. And I live in Raleigh and the market here is insane. We're like the second fastest growing market in the nation. All the houses in my neighborhood are $1 million fucking dollars. Cool. I will stay in my townhouse in this rich ass neighborhood.
Yeah.
Who cares? You know, like, I think we put so much pressure on ourselves, and then this boom of being a female founder, and now all the coaches and all the masterminds and everything being thrown at us is, you have to do this. You have to do it this way. And it looks different for everybody. I started my company accidentally from a place of, I'll just take on some freelance clients until I can find a job. 7 years later, here I am. And that's okay. And what I do does not look like what other publicists do. I don't know what I'm doing half the time. And that's fucking okay, because it works. Who gives a shit, you know, as long as it's working.
That's it. And it feels good to you. Like, you putting the pressure to buy one of those $1 million homes in your area is going to consistently feel like something to upkeep. Yep. It's always going to put a pressure on you, which is going to make you put pressure on your business, which is going to put pressure on your mind and your body, which is going to add to your stress, right? Like, and it's like, for what? So I can say that I have $1 million house? Again, it's not wrong. If that's it, that is your path, and you're like, that's my goal, and I truly in my soul want it for me, then go do it, boo.
Yeah.
Like, let's do the thing.
But don't do it because other people have pressured you into that.
Exactly. And it's the same way with growth in business. It's like, what number actually feels right to you? Okay. So you don't have to do the 7 figures to live a great life. You know, if 100,000 does what you need, then do that. If 50,000,
and that's still success. That is still success.
If 50,000 is enough for you, and that's what adds value into your life, do that. If it's 250, do that. But like, it's really so much about coming back to, what do I actually want? I'm never going to stop saying that, because it's the root of the direction that we're headed in. And until we answer that question honestly, we are always fulfilling somebody else's want.
What are the big themes that you're seeing among your coaching clients right now that, like, they're just trying to overcome?
Yeah. Quite a few similarities, to no surprise. So one of them is a shift in identity. So I've been known for something for so long, and now I want to do something different, and that's scary. Shifting industries, shifting roles, expanding into something new within their industry, like really kind of at this pivot point where what I've been doing is no longer my thing, but nobody knows me for this new thing. And it's terrifying, right? And so we're working through really building a new identity system, and how they're showing up, how they're making decisions, how they are building things. Really locking back into, okay, what am I building? What do I want to be known for? How do I want to show up in this world? Now we're going to operate out of that place instead of the old place. So that's a big one that I'm seeing right now. I think people pleasing is always there. Always, overgiving, undercharging, making sure that everything and everyone else is taken care of around them.
Yeah. So you're talking about me right now. That's wonderful.
Yeah,
thank you.
I know. You're welcome. I know. Calling you out with love. It doesn't work. I don't know if you notice that or not.
Yeah. No.
It works for everybody else.
Mm-hmm.
But when you get the remnants, you don't have the time, energy, or capacity to make the pivot, to make a shift, to grow your business, to just chill out and enjoy a day off. You know what I mean? Like, you don't have that capacity because you're always you're always giving that away. It's in the hands of other people. So people pleasing is a big one. And so what we're doing is shifting the prioritization of self. What do I need? What time do I need to build back into myself? Where do I need to prioritize the work that I need to do, the self-care that I've been wanting to do but keep kicking down the road, right? Like the things that I keep saying I don't have enough time for. Oh, you do. You do.
Mm-hmm.
It's just currently outsourced to other things and people. So people pleasing definitely always comes to the top. And honestly, I'll say one more here because there's quite a few. Trusting yourself or the lack thereof. It's like they know. They have a feeling, they have a hunch, they have a calling. There's like something that's whispering to them, but it doesn't feel like it's enough because we can't like scientifically prove it on paper, right? Because it doesn't make sense to other people because this doesn't have anything that backs it up. It's just, oh, it's just a feeling. Listen, your intuition does not lie ever.
Mm-hmm.
Where it gets skewed is when our brain gets involved and we make it mean something else than what it actually is. And so a lot of the work that we're doing is coming back to our roots and learning what a yes and a no feels like in our body. Learning about how we're like channeling information and what are the nudges and what are the reoccurring themes that you've been seeing? What keeps popping up in your world? Okay, let's trust those little moments and build that self-trust so that when it comes to the bigger decisions and the bigger pivots, you know what it feels like and you've given yourself evidence that it works. So I would say
Yeah.
those three are pretty common right now.
So, yeah, all my life. Yep. All of those things. And I'm sure a lot of the people listening too. So it sounds like all of the themes that are coming up for your clients are all things that have come up for you in the past as well.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, we teach what we most need to learn. Okay. I've been in the front seat, front row to all of those things. And I know how much they can derail you. And I know how powerful it is when you learn how to overcome it. And it's not about perfection. It's not about it always being right. It's about being able to catch those things and shift it in the moment instead of dragging it out for days, months, weeks, or years, right? Allowing it to stop you from moving forward. So yeah, I'm familiar.
One thing I always tell people is like, and this is going to sound crazy, but like the best decisions in my life have been decisions where I trusted my intuition and like didn't listen to my parents. So after college, I moved to LA with $500 and no job because I knew I wanted to work in entertainment and I knew I could make it work. I could do it. And my parents said, no, stay home, find a job here, work for us, that kind of thing. And then same thing happened whenever I went to quit my job and start my own company. They said, no, don't do it, but I trusted my intuition. And I think now I am trying to encourage myself to do that as well because, I've joined the mastermind minds. I've had the coaches. I've joined the groups. I've done all the things. And so many people just do not understand agency life. They don't understand PR, or they're a coach just to be a coach because they heard that, they can make money being a coach kind of thing. And they haven't lived the experience. And I've gotten so caught up in that and just trying to find somebody to tell me what to do because I'm just exhausted and it can feel like an island, but I'm trying to get back to a place where I'm trusting my intuition and I'm listening to myself because I know how to do this shit. I've done it for 7 years. I've been in PR for 16. My parents own businesses. I've been around it my whole life. I know how to fucking do this. I don't need to spend a shit ton of money to have someone who's never lived it and never done it tell me what to do.
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. Working with the right person is can be very, very helpful, right? But to your point, you got to know what you need. What's
Mm-hmm.
important to you? What do you value? And for a lot of people, the copy paste situation, it might look good on paper. It might look fancy in a Instagram carousel, but it's short lived. And it's because the circumstances are different. The story is different. The timeline is different. Like there are things that can work, but I'm a huge fan of taking things that inspire you or feel interesting. And then where we always forget is to put our own self into it, put our flair into it, put our stuff into it. And, one of the things that I do as a coach and in my masterminds and stuff is like, I don't want you to build your business like me. That's ridiculous. We're not the same people. but I can help you see what you can't see because you're so damn close to it. I can intuitively pick up where you're blocked. I usually know what you're thinking and feeling before you even say a word. And so it's just really comes back to knowing what do you need, what kind of support do you need, and what makes sense for you to move forward. Because you're right, you have all the answers, but sometimes we just need someone to help mirror that. I don't think there's anything wrong with needing a little validation or a little like, oh yeah, I've been thinking about this whole time. Like building a business is fucking lonely. And it's wild and it's emotional and it's exciting and exhilarating and terrifying all at the same time. And usually all before noon.
Yeah, literally.
So be not having to do it alone is a power move in its own.
Is there anything you miss about, agency life at all?
Nothing.
Yeah.
Literally nothing.
Don't tell me that.
I mean, seriously, I think it was just such the right time. And I didn't make a quick rash decision. I did sit on this because this was a huge life shift, right? Like I literally spent my whole life building a career in design. So I sat on it for a while and I marinated and I explored what it might feel like to leave that. And at first it was like, no, no. Like that's terrible and all these things. And like the more I sat with it and the more I started asking myself, like, are you cool doing this for the next 5 or 10 years? And I was like, oh, that, you know what I mean? Like my energy kind of sunk down and I'm like, that feels heavy and it's not exciting. And gosh, there's this other thing that really lights me up. And I really kind of want to put more time into that. And it's like, you just get to this pivot point where you're like, I got to decide. You asked earlier, like, what are the common things that I'm seeing? Another big one is lack of decision. When we're wavering back and forth, when we're in that gray space, you can't put any amount of effort into anything that's going to move it. Not to any kind of substantial shifts that you really want to see. So I don't miss it at all. In fact, when I made the decision that I was going to sell it, I felt my entire body relax. It was like, okay, that's how I know that this is right, because my body just exhaled. And when I left, like the day of closing, I've not looked back at any of it at all. I've had no interest in it. I have like every once in a while I'll be like, what would it take for me to get back into that? And I'm like, that would be a redonkulous number.
Oh yeah.
for me to even consider it. And it's like, it's one of those things where I'm like, yeah, I'm just so good. I'm satisfied. And I think it's okay to admit when you're done. You're allowed to change your mind. You are allowed to change your mind. So no, I don't miss anything about it. And it's not out of anger or hatred or disgust or anything like that. I was just done. So I'm just good. Satisfied.
Yeah. You closed that chapter and you found a new way to help people.
Mm-hmm.
And honestly, probably a more meaningful way.
In a way that it's funny because now looking back, I can see how the seeds were planted the entire time. I'm like, man, bitch, we were we were preparing for this change the whole time. I just was not ready to see it. You know what I mean? And back to like where it all really stemmed was, we would have our branding conversations, right? People would come into our office and we would have the meeting, but almost always right after the meeting, the owner or the CEO or the founder would be like, hey, Laura, do you have a second? I want to run something by you. And I'm like, yeah, what do you got? And we would go off on these side conversations and they would tell me the most vulnerable shit. They would tell me about this idea that they had and they were afraid to tell everyone because they thought they were going to look batshit crazy. They would tell me about this reoccurring fear or challenge that they were facing that they couldn't tell anybody else because they didn't want to look like they didn't have their shit together, right? They were talking about their families and what they actually really want and a different idea that they kind of want to explore, but they were afraid to share with, you know what I mean? Like it was just these really meaty, vulnerable conversations. And I always felt alive in that space. And that turned into interviewing people on a couch, which turned into the Gutsy Podcast, which turned into me speaking, which turned into me selling my agency and going full-time speaking. You know what I mean? Like all because I noticed in those side conversations, I felt alive. And this was years ago. This was 12, 13 years ago. So you just never know.
Well, the universe will also put us where we need to be. It'll force us out of situations that don't serve us and put us where we need to be. I've found that so many times.
Yeah, always. always. And I have found anyway that the real friction, the hesitation, the like fight and stuff only comes when we're ignoring it.
Oh,
It's because
absolutely.
the universe is trying to course correct us. It's like, no, get back over here. No, Melinda, over here.
Yep.
Laura, focus. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
And sometimes we have to not listen to go gather information or resources or lessons or whatever we need, connections to come back into the path and say, okay, I get it. I got it. I see it. I'm on it.
What challenges are you facing right now? Like what's kind of resonating for you that you're trying to like dig yourself out of?
Yeah. So I've spent, funny fact, somewhere along the line, I picked up some rose colored glasses and fooled myself because I know better. By the way, I know better. But when I sold the agency, I was like, oh, I'll just go from that same level right over in the speaking world. Like I've already achieved success, so I'll just shift right over. Fucking lies.
Yeah.
Lies.
Oh yeah.
I started all over again. Yes, I have a whole different set of experience and information and resources, and like I'm not coming into this with nothing. But as far as a career, I'm brand new.
Mm-hmm.
I am brand new at this, and it was a gut punch for the first year of realizing that I have literally started all over, and that sucks. I mean, there's really no way around it. I had to refigure out my messaging and my systems and my processes and my talk and what is my primary message and who is my audience, and like I had to start all over again. And I was like, you know what? I'm just going to set the very clear intention that I'm going to build this foundation strong this time. Last time I built it on gravel. I was piecemealing and figuring out along the way. This time I was like, I'm going to do it slow and steady because I'm here to win this race with myself, right? So for the last 2 years, I've been figuring it out. Honestly, it's been slow and it's been confusing, and I've had a lot of nights where I'm crying, and I never doubting that this is what I'm supposed to be doing. It's more my patience
Mm-hmm. I was
being
going to say
tested.
probably frustrated because it's slow.
Yeah. Yeah. I don't love that. I'm not really sure anybody does. But I'm finally to a point where that foundation is poured and that shit is strong.
Yeah.
It is strong. And so now I'm in a phase of getting out there more. You know, I sometimes my frustration now in this season is I feel like I'm a best kept secret.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like I know that I have a lot to give and I can impact a lot of people. And they just don't know about me yet. So I'm in exposure. I'm in being out there. I'm in putting my shit on all the things, and being on podcasts like yours, which is
Mm-hmm.
phenomenal, and airing my own show, and just staying the course. Not pivoting when I'm like, oh, this isn't working or it's not going fast enough, so let me create this thing over here. I've had to really be mindful about like, no, stay the course. No, come back into the center. I've got my offers solid, my talks solid. Like I've got all the pieces. My only job right now is to stay with them
Mm-hmm.
and to talk about them and to share them and to keep showing up. And so that's the season I'm in right now.
Yeah. And like, I mean, I feel so much of that, obviously, I have my own company and I've been at this for a while, but my specialty is thought leadership. I came from entertainment. I've pivoted that into thought leadership for your everyday female founder or just everyday thought leader. And, getting people on podcasts, that's easy for me. I have a whole retainer for it. I can get people on podcasts with my eyes closed. Getting people speaking gigs is not as easy. And I always tell my clients, I'm not a speaking agent. I can pitch you all day long. I can't guarantee anything. And also, even if we get it, I can't guarantee that it's going to be paid because right now, I think the statistic is only 7% pay. And that's really hard. Whereas, 10 years ago, every speaking gig you did paid, but now it's different. And so I can only imagine how you feel, especially maybe pitching yourself and thinking, oh, this is going to be a hell yes. And it's like, we have no money. Sorry, but we would love to have you. And you're like, shit, fuck. Like, is this going to pay off? Is this worth it? That kind of thing.
I will tell you, there's a lot of different ways to be in the speaking world, right? And much with any industry. I've been in a season of no for a couple of months now, and it wears on you. You know, I can take some failure. I can take a beating. I can take no for a while, but I'm also a human being, and after a while, it just stacks up, and it sucks. It feels really bad. Last week, I had a meltdown. I just sobbed in my bed. I'm like, this sucks. Nobody wants me. Everything is stupid. And the ones that really frustrate me personally, again, this works for some people, so know what you need and want. I will come back to that. Are the ones that are like, we'd love to have you. You just have to pay everything. You have to,
oh my God.
You have to pay. You have to pay
it's
to
so
speak.
fucking unethical to me.
You have to pay to attend the conference. You have to stay all 3 or 5 or 7 days. And I'm like, this is my fucking career. And also without speakers, you have no event.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. I just don't understand the model. And I'm so clear on my morals and values and my standards in what I deliver that I absolutely refuse. So I've turned down a bunch of shit because I'm not going to pay to speak on your stage.
No.
I'm not a sell from stage kind of gal. That's not my jam. So see how this question of what do I actually want, what feels right to me, it comes up 8,000 times a week because you always have to check back into that to make decisions based off of that. Because I could probably have added 15 or 20 logos to my website at this point, but I would have paid for all of them. And there's just something about that doesn't sit right for me and my model.
Yeah. And being on the back end, I know all the people that charge. I know all the publications that charge and the podcasts that charge and everything else. So when I do see those logos on people's websites, I'm like, okay, so they paid a shit ton. So they're in debt because they paid a shit ton to do this thing. I always tell my clients, like, I do PR. I don't do advertising. That I don't do pay to play. What you pay me is what you pay. And it is my job to get you everything possible that is a good fit for you and that is going to move the needle for you. We will not pay to speak. We will not pay to be on a podcast. We will not pay to X, Y, and Z. If you want to exhibit at a trade show and then they throw in a speaking gig, that's different. That's completely different. But just having you come to speak or like making you pay for a ticket to a women's conference to speak for 10 minutes, that's fucked. That is like, I hate that shit. But that's everyone's shtick right now. That's everyone's thing. And it's gross to me.
Well, and it's only working because people are saying yes to it.
Exactly.
And, that's true for any kind of system that gets set up like this. It's like somebody had an idea, somebody tried it. Oh, that works. And now other events see that it's working. And so now it's a model. And I think what's important to recognize here is that if we want something like that to change or to fizzle out, we have to stand our own ground. You have to know your worth. You have to know your value. You have to understand what you're willing to do. Have I done speaking gigs where I don't get paid? Absolutely.
Yeah.
But there is an exchange in another way.
Exactly.
Who's in the audience? They're giving me photos. They're giving me videos of me on stage. I'm getting referrals.
A mailing list.
A mailing list. There are ways to leverage. Okay. So I am flexible in certain things. But what I'm not flexible on is paying to fucking speak or attend. It's just not going to happen. I will tell you, I'll be very honest with you. I have the Yahoo logo on my website. I paid for that shit. It was the very first time, and it was the last time that I paid for it. Because when it came out, I quickly realized that I had got caught in one of those marketing roles, right? But I was new, and I didn't know that's what it was. I thought it was like truly an opportunity. And it's like, nope, that's all it took. It took me one time to pay for that. And I'm like, no, if I'm going to be featured, I want to earn that space. I want someone to take a natural interest in me. I want there to be a partnership. I want there to be a collaboration. I want there to be something. Paying for clout is not my jam.
Yeah.
So I leave it up there because I did pay for it.
Hey, might as well.
But it gave me so much clarity to know that, okay, in the future, that's not my path. I'm not doing that anymore.
Few things to go back to the rejection of it all. So one thing that I've realized is that, in PR, I'm getting rejected for other people all day, every day.
Yeah.
And then I like internalize that because I'm the one reaching out on their behalf. I'm doing all this stuff. So I'm getting rejected for other people every day. But then that makes me maybe not want to put myself out there because I'm afraid I'm going to get rejected. And then to go back to what we said before, like, I'm like, why the fuck isn't everyone beating down my door? Don't they know I exist? No, they don't fucking know I exist because I'm not promoting myself. I do a
Yeah.
horrible job at promoting myself because I'm too busy promoting everybody else. So that's something I'm going to have to talk about with my team and get one of them to start pitching me or figuring out that whole thing. But the rejection of it all is really fucking hard, but you can't give up because it's a numbers game. Look, I do
It
this all
is.
day, every day. It is a numbers game. Just keep fucking reaching out. Like, I think I figured out that my stat is I can reach out to 100 podcasts for someone. I'm going to get maybe 15, 20 podcast requests for them. But I have to put that
Wow.
work in and I have to put those numbers in. So just remember that from somebody that does it every day.
Yes.
And there was another thing you said, and I was going to go to it, and I don't remember what it is, but I guess it doesn't matter.
Yeah, you're right with the numbers. You know, that's one of those learning curves. Like I could sell branding with my eyes shut.
Yeah.
In fact, our work often did the selling for us. So we were at a point where things were inbound.
Yeah.
That's the sweet spot, right? Like that's what we're all working towards is like, oh, we have enough business because it's coming to us and we don't have to go after it. Yeah, that's the great place to be. And when I made the shift, it's like, oh, Jesus, like I gotta put in the reps.
Yep.
And there's no fancy way around it. You know what I mean? And I I think a lot of people, whether it's in speaking or, you know, whatever industry you're in, we give up right before it starts working because we get tired
Mm-hmm.
or because we don't feel the emotions that come along with it. Like I had a meltdown last week. Okay. I boohooed, I wallowed in it, I felt it all the way to the bottom. And guess what I did this week? I started fucking applying again.
Mm-hmm.
Because what's the alternative? If I don't do it, there's no chance.
Yeah.
And I know deep down in every part of my being that this is where I'm supposed to be. So if I just settle down for a second and I trust the process, I accept that I am a human, so I go through the motions with it. I reach out to peers. I don't do this alone, right? Like it's bound to happen. You never know when one pitch or one reach out or one email or one social media post could unlock something that changes the trajectory of everything or opens things up or gets the momentum going. Like I'm just always in the mindset that like something awesome is about to happen.
Yeah. And you have to be because otherwise you're just in this like pit of despair, which, hey, look, there must be something in the air because I have been going through it too. I'm like, every day I post on my personal Instagram and I'm just like, okay, this is a good thing that happened today. This is a good thing that happened today. I signed a client, blah, blah, blah. But then a client went on pause and now I'm convinced everyone hates me and wants me to die. Like that's literally my internal monologue. And of course, everyone's like, no, no. Okay, well, sorry, y'all are all probably salaried. Okay, bitch. Like you don't know what it's like. And yes, I
Yeah.
did start therapy back this week. So no one worry. But like, that's just how it works sometimes. And I have a lot of pressure on me, and I know you get this. Like a lot of people's businesses are depending on me getting them visibility,
Yeah.
and that's a lot of pressure to put on myself and for other people to put on me. And I've had to start setting those boundaries with people and saying like, look, I can get you all the press in the world. That's not going to give you clients unless you fix your shit. Like I can lead the horse to water, but like I can't guarantee anything past that. That's up to
Yeah.
you. But still, I think everyone is one email away from dropping me that I'm one unpaid invoice away from everything falling apart. And I'm not, but like I'm just convinced of that. Literally everything you said at the beginning that happened to you, I'm like, cool, biggest fear, biggest fear. Awesome. Now I'm going to have some intrusive thoughts tonight.
Hey, but also look, uh, I'm okay.
Yeah.
Like I'm actually better than okay. You know, even if the wheels do fall off, even if the biggest client does leave, even if the worst case scenario happens, you have options.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not celebrating it. I'm not saying it's awesome, but I'm realistic in the fact that like things do happen the way that they're supposed to happen.
Yeah.
Things happen because they need to happen. Like
Yeah.
it, it's not even always a reflection of something that you're doing or not doing. Sometimes it's just a natural separation. You know what I mean? But in any of those moments in my life or my career or anything, it has always led to something greater.
Yep.
More clarity, more peace, more money, more better clients, like more alignment. I can't hate on those bad moments as much as they suck. And I guarantee you that you are so much better than your brain is wanting you to think that you are
Oh
right
yeah.
now.
Well, and I always have to remind myself that every time a low paying client leaves, a high paying client is right behind them. And that happens
Absolutely.
every time. And God, the universe, they're all like, I'm always going to be protected, because if I lose $1,000, $3,000 is right behind it. And it may be from a client. It may be from a fucking tax refund. It's coming though,
Yeah,
So I just have to remind myself of that, but it can be hard.
it is. This is why community is important. This is why being around like-minded people is important, because they can help you keep going in the moments where you feel like you can't, help you get clarity when you're feeling, clouded, help you just reground yourself and get back in it, because entrepreneurship is a weird ass personal development game.
Yeah,
And
exactly.
also requires you to pay your bills. So
Yep.
it's all just one big thing.
And the world's on fire and no one has money. And so it's just like, it's fun. It's so fun.
Good times. Good times.
Okay.
And yet, I don't know about you, there's not a damn thing I would do otherwise.
Yeah,
I'm unemployable at this point. So
exactly. Oh, I could never work for anybody.
I'm just in it. No, absolutely not.
No. Okay. Give me an unhinged founder story. I know you probably have them at this point, but I love hearing people's just like absolutely unhinged stories from being an entrepreneur.
Yeah. So my brand is centered around being gutsy. So you can imagine that I tend to do some gutsy things. I like to push things. I like to, sometimes that's myself, sometimes that's other things. And I've had this weird relationship with LinkedIn since day one, because LinkedIn is this place where it's like, everyone's their professional self, and it's like going to a networking meeting at a chamber event, and like everyone's got this like facade on, this version of them, right? And I always just feel gross.
Oh yeah. I am unhinged on LinkedIn, and it does not go over well all the time.
Yeah, it's just one of those spaces, and I'm always like, okay, what if I just took the lid off a little bit, or all the way, right? What if I just talked on LinkedIn the same way that I talk on Instagram? Could we do that? It's one of those things where it's like, oh, I need to be professional, but then like you're asking me to be your version of professional. I can say fucking shit and ass, damn, and hell all day long and still help you fucking make moves in your life.
Exactly.
I'm incredibly professional, and I cuss. They're not mutually exclusive. Okay. I talk about very vulnerable things. I talk about real stories, like real human shit that we can all relate to. So I'm at the gym. Okay. And I'm on the treadmill, and my sports bra is itchy. Okay. This is going to come back to LinkedIn. Stick with me here for a second. My sports bra is itchy. And I'm like, okay, that's not abnormal. Like sometimes it's a
just
tag
itching
or
in there. Yeah.
that little plastic thing that they put in there. Or also, why do they make the pads move? Like, and you have to go fishing for them.
And then you get like a uniboob, and it's
and it's like folded into like a quarter into. Okay. So I'm like, okay, it's not abnormal for something to be itchy there. I go throughout my workout, it's itchy the whole time, and I'm like, we got to figure this out. So I get to my car, and I like like fold the bottom, right? I break the seal, and a fucking piece of dried beef falls out of my sports bra. Dried beef. And I was like, what the shit?
a little
I
snack, a
remembered,
little protein.
a little after workout pick me up, I guess. I don't know. For lunch, I had beef stew. And apparently when I was eating, a piece fell down the top of the sports bra and I didn't feel it. And it hung out with me all day, which meant that it dried out, which meant it was itching when I was moving my body. So I'm in my car and I'm like, this is funny as shit. I'm going to put up a thread, right? So I just put up this, like 2-sentence thread, and I put it up. It didn't really take off. People on threads would get a hoot out of it. It must have been the time of day. the next morning, I was like, wouldn't it be funny if I put this on LinkedIn?
Yes.
And I, and I didn't even hesitate. And I was just like, why not? Like, why not? So I copied the thread and I pasted it in LinkedIn. I hit post, I closed the app, and I went about my day. This is like New Year's Eve. Okay. I checked my phone the next day and the shit goes micro viral on LinkedIn. Okay. I've got thousands of comments and likes and shares and I'm like, okay, this could go one of two ways. I'm either going to have a lot of haters or I'm going to have a lot of people being like, I fucking love this.
I need to book
And
her right now.
I was pleasantly surprised that I would say 7/8 of the comments were, oh my God, this is so relatable. Oh my God, this is so true. This is so real. This has happened to me. Look, you saved yourself a little snack. One guy was even like, Laura, you have solved the infamous question of where's the beef? Like you have solved it for us. And I was like, yes, you are welcome.
Oh
I have
my
found the
God.
beef. And I always find like a story or a moral or a value or a lesson in this kind of shit, right? Because so many people were like, that's real, that's relatable. Oh my God, this is funny. The same people that are on LinkedIn in their suits and ties are the same people that are scrolling on TikTok at night,
Mm-hmm.
are the same people that are on Reels looking at stuff, are the same people that are pinning things on Pinterest. They're just wearing a different outfit. And I think it's really important, especially in business, to be yourself in every space and place. Yes, even on LinkedIn. And, will anything come of it? I don't know. Maybe, maybe not. But I've made so many connections. I've had more connections from that one post than I've ever had from anything that I've ever put up. It's my most viral piece of content on LinkedIn. And it just shows that people just want to be around people. Not the facade, not the like buttoned up, like tailored version of you. Like people just want to connect with people. And I truly know and believe in my soul. Like that's one of my differentiators is that I'm willing to go there. I'm willing to say the inside stuff outside. And it's relatable and people laugh or they cry or they're like, "Oh yeah, I can relate to that." And that's human connection. So that's my unhinged story is
I
I'm
love
talking
it.
about finding beef in my bra on LinkedIn and having it go viral.
I mean, you're my people. Like, I post the dumbest shit on LinkedIn because I'm like, fuck it. And I will call people out. I'm like the mean person on LinkedIn. I posted, we just had the Super Bowl. And so I was like, some of y'all bent so far over backwards to try to relate something to Bad Bunny on your fucking LinkedIn that you need to go to the chiropractor. And everyone's like, yes, 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 yes. Like, whatever. It's like we're not curing cancer. I say that all the fucking time. We're literally not curing cancer. Like, we're all fucking human beings. Everyone takes a shit in the morning. Beyonce gets diarrhea sometimes. Calm down. Like,
Yeah.
it's
Yeah.
like,
At
why
the end of
not?
the day, we're all people having very similar experiences in different stories.
Yeah.
And I think when we talking like that, saying things about like beef in the bra or whatever, it's a disruptor.
Yeah.
It jars things open, and I think it reminds people that like, hey, like we're all just like regular people,
Yeah.
that, right?
Like,
there were
the world is literally on fire.
in every corner possible.
Yeah.
Like we can smile about things. We can find glimmers. We can have real conversations without making everything about like, a lesson that I've learned from such and such event. Like there's just so much more depth to it. And there were a few haters on there, of course. Some people were
Always.
like, "Do you know that you're on LinkedIn?" And I was like, "Yep."
They were
Yep,
probably
pretty aware.
boring white men, so who cares?
I
That's
mean,
normally the haters.
let's go there. And I got a little snarky with a couple of them. And then the funny thing about that was there were primarily women commenting under that then saying, I came here for the beef story and I was going to follow you, but I'm like a fan now and I'm stalking you because of your response to these comments. And it's like, see, we're all people. Let's start talking to each other like
Well,
that.
here's the thing.
You can be professional.
Yeah.
And still be human.
Well, and those people, they could be decision makers at their companies to ask you to come in and speak, or they could be putting together a women's conference or something. You never fucking know. So, hey, take your fans wherever you can get them,
Listen, I'm in the belief like something amazing is about to happen. That post could have been screenshotted and it might be on the desk of a conference room somewhere right now to be evaluated to see if they want me to come speak to their company.
Exactly.
I fully believe with my whole ass that that's a possibility.
As you should.
Why not? But you know what's funny? Really funny. The posts that I tend to put the least amount of effort into are the ones that pop off the most.
Always.
And it's like, that's the trusting yourself, that's the hearing yourself and just going for it. I mean, that's a gutsy move.
Yeah.
And it pays off.
Hot take. Like, I fucking love ChatGPT. I use it for everything. I don't care. I build my own GPT, so that feels a little different. I'm like at least customizing stuff. But can everyone just fucking stop just like posting shit they pull straight from ChatGPT on their LinkedIn? We can tell what it is. It's these fucking buzzwords, it's the M dashes, it's the emojis, and it's the fucking listicle thing. Like, no one is reading that. And it's not your voice. It's not your like even thoughts. It's not your thought leadership. Just stop. Like, it takes 2 seconds to fucking write a LinkedIn post. Just fucking write it. Like, it makes me mad.
Or take what it created and infuse you.
Exactly.
Use it as inspiration.
I do that all the time.
Yeah. Like I look at Pinterest all the time for inspiration.
Yeah.
But we're not copying and pasting stuff.
Yeah.
We're using that as inspiration to put it into our own think tank.
Exactly.
So it serves a time and a place. It's a fantastic tool in a lot of ways, but don't forget who you are in that process.
Exactly. Okay, well, we've gossiped long enough. I feel like we're going to be best friends. Even if you don't like it, I don't care because I'm going to force it. So, okay, tell everybody where to find you. Tell everybody how to join the collective, all that fun stuff. Just word vom to us right now.
Yep. LauraAura.com is the best place to find all things me. It's LauraAura.com. My handle for all social platforms is @LauraAura. So come say hello and follow me over there. The Gutsy Podcast is a great next step. If you like this tone, if you are, nodding your head as I'm saying stuff, you're like, yep, that's where I'm at. I need some help. The Gutsy Podcast is a phenomenal next step. And then I've got 2 ways that I can work with you. Aura is my mastermind for women in a space very similar to what you just explained. And the Gutsy Collective is for women that are, just starting to rebuild their confidence. They're starting to take some steps. They're preparing for the move. That's a great step as well. But all of that is at LauraAura.com.
Yay. Well, thanks for being my friend. Thanks for coming on. And
you got it.
We're all going to go like and subscribe now.
Let's do it. Thanks so much for having me.
Are you not obsessed with LauraAura like I am? Let's all go be her bestie online. Let's add her on LinkedIn so we can hear more about beef and bras and whatever other things she's going to find in there when she's working out. But that was just such a healing conversation for me. And it was something I absolutely needed in this moment. And hopefully when you're listening, it'll resonate with you as well. So thank you for listening. Sorry if there were any tech troubles. Hopefully Jeremy's going to be able to edit them all out and you're going to hear me say this and you're going to be like, there was nothing. But yeah, we had some technical difficulties, and technology is great until it doesn't fucking work. And today it wasn't fucking working, but we're here. We made it through. We persevered. So thanks for listening. Like and subscribe, share with a friend, and we'll see you next time. Like and subscribe to my podcast. It's Unhinged. Dun, dun, dun.